Today we're going to discuss one concept that can help your team in transition by making them more efficient, especially utilizing specific players and their roles on the team. Let's go. So the first thing to start out with is we're going to look at Michigan State, and they use this with like almost a two big system. However, you can apply this with a one big system or even a 5 out system. The same concepts and logic still apply. The overarching concept that Michigan State applies is essentially how to manufacture space. So with their two big lineup, the first thing we can always see is the guard is moving from one side to the other. Okay? This allows for essentially a changing of the location that they're going to drive in. So they were originally going to drive here, and now their opportunity to drive is here. This changes essentially the help defender. This base changes the spot they have to be in to provide help, whether it was on this block or this block. The reason they come to this side is because their post player, one of their bigs, number 10, is running down here to this block. His goal is to essentially beat his defender there and take him out of the play. What this does is it gives open avenues for their point guard, the one with the ball, coming downhill. And they do this routinely. It is built into their system. It didn't work right there, but you can see that they were aiming for that intentional purpose. This is something that is clearly explicitly coached by Tom Izzo, is they always outlet the ball to one of their two guards, coming downhill, switch sides, and the big is instructed to engage with his defender. It's super crucial that he's making physical contact. You can't just be next to him and controlling where his body is. You have to have physical contact onto him to be able to control where his body position is going. Michigan State drives in immediately at that, knowing that this defender is, even if you don't get him fully sealed, which is like cutting him off entirely, the fact that he's engaged with you puts him off balance, and so KJ Adams doesn't have the ability to use his athleticism like he normally would. And Michigan State probably should have gotten a foul there, but either way, you can see their intent. And it's important to note that Kansas is a very good team, and so they obviously countered this pretty well as in deflecting the ball, slowing down the transition, denying the first pass, and yet Michigan State was still able to do this pretty efficiently. Okay, so here we can see, so this is why I wonder if Michigan State is almost intentionally have to go back to the left, because he was initially headed this way and then kind of veered back to his left. And so I wonder if it's almost like orchestrated that he wants to go to the left unless there's just like a clear opening where he has the advantage one step this way. And so this is one that's slightly different because normally this big is taught to engage on this side. So he's sealing KJ Adams from helping that way. However, because the ball is coming this direction, he has to kind of distract KJ. And so right here we can see that he's got the physical contact again. One thing about the physical contact is it's not just physical, it mentally engages you as a defender. You think, oh, I've got to fight for position here. And so KJ Adams is a little bit slow and so doesn't provide help there at all. And you can also see that this Michigan State player is working to fight to get to the inside. And while this is like gray area, whether he's grabbing him or not, you could definitely go both ways depending on how obvious it is. But he is fighting to get back to the inside so that he can ultimately be that seal. Even though he's not on the side that naturally would have helped it, he immediately fights to engage with KJ Adams and make sure that his point guard has the space to operate that he needs. And then these last two are, I think, exactly what Michigan State is looking for, even on a make, getting the ball out of bounds and immediately getting the ball so the point guard is going downhill quickly so that he can change sides. Okay, you can see immediately the big also is running for that post. They are very coordinated in the spot they're supposed to go, and he's making contact with KJ Adams right there, works to get the seal. And this is the ideal because if you can make contact early in transition, you can also essentially provide a little bit of screen where Harris has to operate not only catching up with the ball, but has to get through these two defenders. And Hunter Dickinson is nowhere near where he can provide help defense because you're going so fast. And so you get downhill and you get a great opportunity. Probably was a foul call. I don't know for sure, but probably was a foul call. And so to the casual observer, this just looks like, oh, they're just running really fast. There's no coordination to it. But you can see it has the same pattern over and over again. Okay, ball coming down the left side. The big is going to seal with KJ Adams. Hunter Dickinson is too high. Probably worried about the three-pointer out here. But that means that there's no help on the inside when you get this guy sealed because you have I'll call them shooters. They weren't really shooters in this game, but shooters spacing out the floor to the side, and that gives you space to work with. And the defender has to operate through so much contact because he has to worry about changing directions, a point guard coming downhill, and this person is now sealed right here, and so you have to fight through that. And overall, I think it's a great system run by Tom Izzo. I probably would have different philosophies slightly just as a team lineup wise, but this is a great way to make use of two bigs, especially in brilliant basketball by Tom Izzo.